Ranking every NFL logo from worst to best. Now, hopefully I use the correct current logo for each team. If I wasn't sure of any, I just used their Twitter profile picture, so hopefully those are all right. 32, the worst logo in the league, gotta be Washington. Don't need to say much about this one. It's pretty obvious how bad it is, but I guess that's what happens when your franchise is stupid and decides to get rid of your team name right before the season and give yourself no time to rebrand. 31, another easy choice, the Browns. This one has absolutely no creativity. It's almost like when they were designing the logo, they ran out of time and they were like, let's just throw a helmet on a picture and we'll call it a logo. And also, why is it orange when your team name is Browns? 30th, the Packers. Now, hear me out, Packers fans. I understand that this is one of the most iconic logos in the whole league. There's no doubt about that, but just look at it. It's just the letter G. Like, put some cheese or something on there. 29, the 49ers. Same exact situation as the Packers, but personally, I just like the color scheme better, so that's why it was higher. 28, the Giants. Same concept, just a little more creative with the font and also the long Y. 27 is the Bears. Now, this one is very boring, like a lot of the first few we saw, since it's just the letter C, but I gave them a slight boost because this alternate logo that they sometimes use is actually pretty sick. 26, the Jets. Now, I said before I like logos that show me who the team is, not tell me. And this one does not show me anything about a jet. It just says the word. 25, maybe a shocker, the Cowboys. Now, if I were ranking the logos by how iconic they were, this one would probably be number 1. But if you just look at the logo itself, there's nothing really special about it. It's literally just a star, and nothing about this represents a cowboy. 24 is the Cardinals. Now, one time I heard someone say that this logo looks just like a creature from the game Angry Birds, and I cannot unsee that ever since then, so I couldn't put them any higher. 23, the Patriots. Not too bad, but it's just not nearly as good as their old logo, so I punished them from going away from that one. 22, the Panthers. Now, I love this color scheme, but I think he just looks a little bit awkward because of where they cut his shoulders off. 21 is the Colts. Now, it represents their team well with the horseshoe. It shows me what team they are, but I don't really like it because it's not very colorful and eye-popping. It doesn't really stand out. And also, they could have made this one elite by simply turning it to the right side and making the horseshoe also a C, standing for Colt. 20th is the Bengals. Now, I like what they're doing here with the claw marks or tiger stripes, whichever that's supposed to be, and I love the color orange, but what throws me off with this one is I just don't like having the big B be the centerpiece of the logo. 19th is the Chiefs. Now, the KC just looks average, but it was carried this far by the fact that I love how the arrowhead looks wrapped around it. 18 is the Saints. Now, this one looks good, and it's certainly meaningful to the city, but for me, there's just no reason to have a flower logo representing a football team. 17 is the Steelers. Now, it's colorful, iconic, and represents the team well, but it just seems like it needs a big modernization. 16, the Chargers. Love the color scheme, and it looks cool, but when does a lightning bolt curve like that? At 15, we start a run of birds with the Seahawks. Now, as the spot in the rankings would imply, this was just an average logo. Nothing super elite about it, but it's also not bad either, and I do like the green eye. Kind of makes it pop a little bit. 14, we've got the Eagles. Now, this one is less colorful than the Seahawks, but slightly more intimidating, so that's why I had it one spot higher. 13 is the Ravens. Basically the same layout and design as the other two, but since it had more color, it stood out to me a little bit more, and I also like the purple and gold combo, so that's why it's here. 12 is the Lions. A really nice design, looks fairly intimidating for a logo, and I like the fact that it looks like it's pouncing. 11 is the Bills. Basically all the same things I said about the Lions apply here. It's a nice clean look, fairly intimidating for a logo, but the reason it beat out the Lions is because it has the big red streak across the middle, so it gives it a little more color. 10th place is the Broncos. This one's just really smooth, looks pretty cool. I love the fact that the Broncos' eye is orange. That's just a super unique look that makes this one stand out. 9th place is the Texans. This is another one that's just a really clean look, and it's perfect for their location. It's got a lot of Texas flair to it with the star as well as the longhorn. This one is perfect for their name. 8th place is the Titans. Now, I'm not really sure why, but I've just always loved this one. I think it just looks sick. I love the style of the T, the flames coming out of the back of the logo. This one's great. 7th place is the Jaguars. Now, when you just take the head of an animal and put it as your logo, that could be really risky, but I think they did a great job with this one. The colors mesh together perfectly, and it looks pretty intimidating for a cartoonish logo. I really like this. 6th place is the Vikings. I think this guy just looks really cool. I've always been a big fan of the color scheme, and obviously he represents their team name perfectly. Number 5 is the Dolphins. I love this color scheme, and I think it represents their city and state perfectly with the dolphin in the center and also the sun in the background. Gives a nice Florida feel to it. 4th place is the Falcons. I like this one just because it's super creative. It's obviously got the look of an actual falcon, but then I love the fact that it's also in the shape of an F. This is just a super unique idea. I really like it. Third place is the Raiders. Super iconic, obviously represents their team name well, and this Raider in the center of the logo just looks epic. Number 2 is the Rams. Now, not a whole lot going on with this one, and I'll be honest, the first time I saw it, I hated it, but the more I looked at it, it's actually pretty incredible. I love the fact that it not only tells you who the team is, but also where they play. That's very rare, and the way that they combine the LA and the Rams horn into one just looks great. And I think the best logo in the league is the Buccaneers. It's obvious what team it represents, it's colorful and eye-popping, and I think it just looks sick.